He joined the movement around 2001, 2002, and took initiation a few years later from Satsvarup Damodar Goswami.
Bhakti Swarup Damodar.
Bhakti Swarup Damodar Goswami. And
Scientist Maharaj.
yes, yes. And he's been serving in Switzerland almost all his devotional life. He spent 1 year in India, in Orissa in 2002. That inspired him to take further the process of devotional service. And for 14 years, he served as temple president in Zurich, in Switzerland. And he has just here taken the role of GBC for Switzerland, Austria, Germany, and Liechtenstein. It's a very small country. So Prabhuji is serving as part of the GBC, and we're very fortunate to have him here today. So we'll just give him a big Haribol for his service here. Haribol, Haribol, Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the kind welcome and invitation. Giving me a little service. I feel a bit shy to speak in front of the Chopati and the Govardhan Eco Village Vidyapit Brahmacharis, all scholars. So let's see what we can say. I have chosen this shloka. I'll read again the translation. I shall accept the role of a devotee, and I shall teach devotional service by practicing it myself. So we are preparing for Gaur Purnima, which is coming up very soon. So I think it's a nice idea to hear a bit about Gauranga Mahaprabhu and get into the mood in the meditation. And personally, I find it very fascinating that the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes very eager to become a devotee himself. Like sometimes when we get to know Krishna conscious, we ask ourselves, should I become a devotee or not? How much should I be a devotee? But there is God himself who is very eager to become a devotee. So if God becomes eager to become a devotee, then we should also be very enthusiastic to be a devotee of Krishna, because that's the most wonderful position in the world we can have, to be a servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord's devotee. So that's why I found this an interesting topic, how the Lord becomes eager to become a bhakta. It says here, bhakta bhava. He appears and he takes on this bhakta bhava, that mood of a devotee, and he comes to teach by practicing devotional service himself, not just by theoretical knowledge, but actually he comes to show by his own example. So I thought we can start with some evidences from Shastra about the Lord's appearance, because it's interesting. Although the Shastra explained about the Lord's appearance, somehow Mahaprabhu is also known as the Gupta avatar, is like hidden, because he takes that role as a bhakta, as a devotee. But actually there's many places where the Shastra speak about the Lord's appearance. Many Puranas actually also. I just give a few examples. In Garuda Purana it says, Kale Pratama Sandayam Lakshmi Kanto Bhavishyati Dharu Brahma Samipyasta Sanyasi Gaura Vikraha. In the first part of Kali Yuga, the Supreme Personality of Godhead will appear as Gaura. First, he will become the husband of Lakshmi, then he will take sannyas and stay near Lord Jagannath, who is the Supreme Brahman, in a wood form. Could you hear what I say? Okay. So I find it quite fascinating in which detail the Shastra gives a description about Gauranga Mahaprabhu. It says, Dharu Brahma Samipyasta. Dharu Brahma refers to Lord Jagannath, the Lord who, Dharu Brahma, like the wooden form, and sannyasi Gaura Vigraha, that Gaura, he will take sannyas. So in this way, there's detailed description. Or in the Markandeya Purana, Golokam cha parityaja lokanam tranakarnata kola gauranga rupena lila lavanya vikraha. During Kali Yuga, I shall leave Goloka, so Krishna is speaking, to save the inhabitants of the material world. I shall become the handsome and playful Lord Gauranga. Krishna is declaring, I shall become the playful Gauranga. Or in the Narada Purana, Dvicha Bhuvi Chayadvam Bhaktarupina Kola Sankirtana Arambe Bhavishyami Sachisutta. O demigods, again, Vishnu speaking, please advance as devotees on earth in the age of Kali. I shall appear there as a son of Sachi to inaugurate the Sankirtan movement. Or in the Padma Purana, I shall appear on this earth in the first part of Kali Yuga in a beautiful place on the bank of the Bhagirathi or Ganga. I shall have a golden form and I shall become a son of Sachi. Or Vayu Purana, Shudho Gora Sadrikango Ganga Tira Samutbhava Dayalu Kirtana Grahi Bhavishyami Kalo Yuge. In Kali Yuga, I shall appear in a place on the bank of Ganga. I shall be very pure and very merciful. Having a golden complexion, I shall be very tall and shall chant the holy names. Haribol. Okay. So, because Gora is a hidden avatar, we were not able to hear all the glories from the Shastra because it's hidden. Gupta avatar. So divine arrangement. So in this way, and of course in the Bhagavatam, Krishna Vanam Tisham Krishnam Sangopanga Shuparshitam, and so on, there's many, but yeah, I found it interesting that even in the Puranas, so many description of Gora's appearance in this world. Nevertheless, because the Lord appears in a Gupta avatar, hidden form, he's actually not so known. Even here in India, I mean, who knows about Gora, golden avatar? Many people, they worship Durga, they worship Ganesha, Shiva, Vishnu. But who worships Gora? Okay, some people in Bengal, but other than that, you know. So Gauranga Mahaprabhu remained in a hidden way because whenever he took that bhav of a bhakta, he took that role of a devotee, and whenever devotees would glorify him as the supreme, he would say Vishnu, Vishnu, Vishnu. Of course, there were some incidences where he revealed also his glories, Mahaprakash Lila and other places, but usually he would always remain in that bhava, that bhakta bhava. So why did the Lord came in this special form? Of course, there's many ways to describe this. One way I found very beautiful is from the Chaitanya Mangala, where Lochandas Thakur describes. There he describes how Lord Dwarkadish, Krishna in Dwarka, just spending a night with Queen Satyabhama, he decided to visit the place of Queen Rukmini in the early morning. You know that pastime, yeah? He comes there, and then Rukmini is very happy, filled with great ecstasy. Her body trembles in anticipation, seeing the Lord. So she's receiving the Lord, washing his lotus feet with sand and water, offered arti, taking Krishna's feet as the only property. Rukmini held the feet of Krishna onto her breasts, and she's complete in ecstasy. A very beautiful scene. Krishna and Rukmini, they come together. Everything is very nice. Like this morning, sunrise, just touching the face of Krishna. Beautiful scene. And all of a sudden, Rukmini starts to cry. Just cry like anything. Krishna is bewildered. What's happening? What's going on? Why are you crying? We had a beautiful, welcoming and reunion. Why are you crying? And then he said, "Oh, Devi, I can't understand why you're weeping. Please tell me why you are crying so profusely. The whole world knows that you are my favorite. Who is more dear to me than you?" Then Rukmini says, Prabhu, you know everything there is to know. But how is it that you don't understand the heart of one who loves you? No? So you know everything, but there is one thing you don't know. And that's the heart of the devotee, how the devotee feel. You will understand the intensity of love I feel if you cultivate Radha Bhav. If you cultivate the mood of Radharani, only then you will understand how I feel, Rukmini says. And then Krishna becomes bewildered, Oh Devi, I didn't understand exactly what you said. What is that remain unknown to me? I know everything. I'm the Supreme Lord. I know everything that is to be known. How is it that I don't know something? And then Rukmini says, my dear Lord, you are the crest jewel of all transcendental qualities. Within your heart, you can't know why I'm crying, even though everything else is known to you. You know everything, but you don't know why I'm crying. My heart weeps because soon you will leave my place and go away. Now we have union, but I know soon you will leave the palace, you go, and then I will be alone again. That's why I'm crying. I already feel that separation. And she says, besides me, only Srimati Radharani knows how to relish the mellows of love and taste the highest transcendental pleasure. Only Radharani, who enjoyed with you in Vrindavan, can understand this completely. No one can compare with Radharani. And then Krishna became quite amazed. He said, never heard such an amazing and wonderful description. Until today, no one has ever suggested to me that I should personally taste the love of that pure devotee have for me. Nobody came up with that proposal or idea. I never thought about it. So they were discussing like that, and then what happens next? Narada Muni shows up. Narada Muni always shows up, the right place, right time. He's always there, like any pastime. At some point, Narada Muni shows up. So he comes, and of course, Narada Muni is a great sage, so immediately Rukmini stood up respectfully, welcomed the sage with sweet words, and Krishna offered asan to Narada. They bathed Narada's feet and affectionately embraced him and offered all kind of welcome. And again, very beautiful scene. Everyone is very happy. Narada comes and they're happy. And then what happened? All of a sudden, Narada starts to cry. And Krishna is saying, what's going on today? And it's a very strange day. First, very happy, and then Rukmini starts to cry. Now we are very happy. All of a sudden, Narada starts to cry. What's going on? Narada, why are you so disturbed? And then Narada says, my dear Lord, when I can't hear your name is being chanted, I travel around the universe, everywhere, and I can't hear your name is being chanted. When I see the conditioned souls intoxicated by pride, absorbed in materialistic activities, and devoid of Krishna consciousness, that gives me a lot of pain. And I don't see how these conditioned souls can be delivered. I don't see a remedy for them. And how should they be delivered? And at that point, Krishna had some realization. Okay, first Rukmini says that I should understand what is the mood of a devotee, the love of a devotee feels for me. And now Narada Muni says that these conditioned souls, they need some help. Then Krishna realized, I have to come again. And this is also described in Chaitanya Charitamrita, how the Lord realized that I only gave theoretical knowledge, but I have not shown by example. So when the Lord, Krishna smiled and he said, listen, Narada, I just heard a wonderful description from Rukmini. As a result of that, I want to promise you that in the age of Kali, I will manifest a form filled with humility. Gaura's form is one of the characteristics of Mahaprabhu, is his immense humility. And although I'm the Supreme Lord, I will appear as my own devotee. In the association of other devotees, I will freely distribute my love by performing Harinam Sankirtan, congregational chanting of my holy names. I will appear in the transcendental abode of Navadvip in Sridham Mayapur within the home of Sachi Mata. And while Krishna was speaking like that, all of a sudden, he was so absorbed in ecstasy, he showed his form as Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. This was the first time Krishna manifested this golden form. And when Narada saw this form in divine rapture, he fainted, no? Narada just fainted out of ecstasy, seeing that beautiful golden form. Gauranga's brilliant golden complexion was more effulgent than millions of suns. Like this morning we saw one sun shine touching the face of Gauranga. Gauranath said, Gauranga became even more golden. That's one sun. Imagine there is millions of suns. What an effulgence. This shining beauty of millions of moons and millions of cupids would have been put to shame by the inconceivable beautiful face of Sri Gauranga. So in this way, the Lord's kind of announced his appearance as Gaura. So in some way we can, of course, and this is a very esoteric and deep subject matter, and certainly I'm not qualified to really go much into the depth of this, but we just touch on it because it's good to hear, especially a few days before Guru Purnima. So we can ask ourselves, why did Krishna not distribute prema himself in Dwapara Yuga? He was already there, no? So why he didn't do it there? What would you say? Yeah, why did, when he came as Krishna, he could have distributed prema already that time. One reason, I mean, of course, there could be different answers, but one reason is that Krishna is Vishaya Vigraha Bhagavan. That means Vishaya Vigraha means he is the object of love. He's the one who receives love. He's the one who enjoys. He's the enjoyer. So actually, Krishna himself does not possess prema. Those who love Krishna, the devotees, they have prema. But Krishna is the one who receives that prema. He's the Vishaya Vigraha. He's the one who receives that prema. So Krishna is the object of love. He does not have prem. Therefore, somebody should give it to him. So how could Krishna give prem when he didn't have it? No? If Krishna doesn't have prem, how can he give it? So, but he wanted to distribute Vraja Prema, that love of Vraja, because Vraja Prema is the most pure of all the love, the best type of love. So Krishna thought, let me go and give that Prema. So that's a contradiction, that he has no Prema himself, but he wants to distribute that Prema, right? So there's a contradiction. Krishna wants to distribute Prema, but he doesn't have it. So suppose you don't have money, and you need money, what are you doing? You go to someone who has money. You don't go to a poor guy, you go to a rich person, and then you ask the rich person, please, can you borrow me, at least either give, donate, or at least borrow me some money? I can give it back, but give it to me. So similarly, Krishna wanted to have this love in order to distribute that love. So from whom he should get it? From those who have that love. And who are these devotees? That's the gopis. And amongst the gopis, who has the most love? That's Srimati Radharani. So Krishna needed that prem, and he wanted to get it from the one who had more prem than others, and that's Srimati Radharani. So because Krishna is Vishai, Vigraha is the object of love, and Radharani is Ashray. Vigraha, she's the abode of love. She's the one who possesses that love, and she's the one who gives that love. So therefore, Krishna had to enter the heart of Radharani and steal that love from her, get that love from her. And therefore, he then took on this golden complexion, because he took the mood of Radharani, took a golden complexion. And in this way, Shri Krishna, Chaitanya Radha Krishna, Anya, he's a combined form of Radha Krishna. He's Krishna, but in the mood of Srimati Radharani. And in this way, he came, and he wanted to, first of all, he wanted to distribute, but he also wanted to relish. He was curious to understand. It's like if a mother prepares nice rasgulla, and then she distributes all the rasgulla to the children, and then everything is finished, and the children are very happy. But who experience more pleasure? Those who taste the rasgulla, or the mother who distributes the rasgulla? Actually, the mother has more pleasure. The kids, they enjoy, but the mother, she's the one who gives. So similarly, Krishna is the one who enjoys the love, but he's not the one who experiences to give that love. So he wanted to taste that. And that's why he became a devotee to himself experience the bliss of being a devotee. And that's, as I said in the beginning, I found this very amazing that God is very eager to become a devotee to experience that bliss. And we say that as a devotee, that Bhakta Bhava, what is the Bhakta Bhava? Bhakta Bhava means we see ourselves as servant. We're always engaged in service to the Vaishnavas of Krishna. And then we experience Seva Ananda. We experience great happiness. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the 6th chapter of Adilila, beautifully described how this there is nothing like Seva Ananda. There's no greater pleasure than Seva Ananda. Krishna dasa abhimana ye ananda sindhu koti prama shukanae tara eka bindu. So Krishna dasa abhiman. How do you translate the word abhiman in English? Like abhiman is like a pride, a certain identity. I am a servant, right? Krishna dhasa abhiman. I am a servant of Krishna. And like usually pride is not good thing. We just heard Narada Muni, he feels distressed seeing how the materialistic people, they are filled with pride. And we heard how Gauranga, Padma Purana says that the Lord appears as Gora, who is very humble. So pride is not a good thing. But there is something like a transcendental pride. And that transcendental pride is that Krishna das abhiman, I am Krishna's servant. Like once Prabhupada, someone told Prabhupada, "Oh Prabhupada, you're just like a king." And Prabhupada said, "I'm much more than that." Maharaj. Right? Raj is a king, but the Swami is a Maharaj. So Prabhupada said, "I'm much more than that." So it sounds funny, in a sense, sounds like a pride. But this is transcendental pride. I'm Krishna Das, I'm the servant of my Guru. I'm a servant of Bhakti Siddhanta. I'm a servant of the Parampara. I'm a servant of the Brijbasis. That's my Abhiman. So that's a transcendental form of pride. So if someone has that Abhiman or that conviction, that identification, I'm a servant, then the conception of servitude to Krishna generates such an ocean of joy in the soul that even the joy of oneness with the Absolute, if multiplied 10 million times, could not compare to a drop of it. This says Brahma Sukha. If you become one with Brahman, it means there is no duality, there is no suffering, complete Ananda. But if you take that Brahmananda Sukha, then it's just like even if you put that millions times, it's like a drop compared to what you get in Seva Ananda. So it's quite nice, no? what is waiting for us if we, and of course we all experience that to some degree. I don't know, depending on some more, some less. But to render service to Krishna to the Vaishnavas, it's such a wonderful thing. And therefore, even the Lord becomes thirsty to taste that sweetness. Even the Lord, he wants to experience that pleasure, and he can only do it by accepting the mood of a devotee, of a bhakta. So that's one thing I wanted to share. And another thing is that the shloka says that I came to teach by my own example, which is also significant because as Krishna, he said in Kurukshetra, he says, Sarvadharma parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja. Not just surrender unto me. Krishna just giving theoretical knowledge. He speaks all this Sankhya yoga, all this different yoga, different knowledge he gives, transcendental knowledge. But then just surrender. But Krishna does not show by himself how to do that. He does not really show how to surrender himself. So when Krishna went back to Vaikuntha or to Goloka, he kind of was scratching his head, and I gave this Bhagavad Gita teaching, which is very nice, but in Kali Yuga, people will be very dull, and how can people understand? That just by reading the books, how can they understand? So I should come myself, and I should give by my own example. I should show how to do it. And from this, we can understand that preaching is important, but example is even more important. This is a, yeah, I mean, of course, important principle, well-known principle, but maybe nice to get reminded of the importance. Saint Franciscus, he made that point: preach the gospel 24 hours, and if needed, you can also use some words. Just an interesting point, you know, when we speak of preaching the gospel or preaching the Bhagavad Gita, we kind of think of like sitting on a Vyasasana and speaking, or giving a seminar. Then we share Krishna consciousness with others, sitting in the Govinda restaurants and preaching to some guests. You know, using words, explaining philosophy. But it says here, but yeah, you preach 24 hours, and if needed, you can also use words, in a sense of the main thing you should preach with is by your personality, the way you are, the person you have become, because that will have the greatest impact on people. If they see, wow, this is such a nice person, such a humble person, such a respectful person, such a tolerant person, but they will appreciate, oh, so if I follow this Hare Krishna, then this is the result. Very good. I also like to do that. So therefore, this is very essential. And Sanatana Goswami glorifies Thakur Haridas, you know, that famous example. Apana achare keha, nakare prachara, prachare karane keha, nakarena achare. So Sanatana Goswami tells Thakur Haridas, some behave very well, but they do not preach the cult of Krishna consciousness, whereas others preach, but do not behave properly. Sometimes we see in a brahmachari ashram, no? Some people are very sattvic, very nice, but they don't preach. They just do some arti and they read the books, but they don't talk to anyone. They don't go out. But they're very nice people. Then you have sometimes very passionate brahmacharis. They go on the streets and they preach a lot, distribute many books, but they don't behave so nicely. So, but then he says, achar prachar namera kare dui kara, that you simultaneously perform both stusis in relation to the holy name by your personal behavior and by preaching. So you do both, achar and prachar. You preach, but also by your achar, by your behavior, you show what is the proper conduct. And therefore, tumi sarva guru, tumi chakatera arya, that therefore you are the guru of the whole world, because you do both, achar and prachar. So that's something we also can see, or we can learn from that shloka that we read today, that the Lord comes and he shows by his personal example how to be a devotee, how to preach. And another way, of course, the Lord showed by his own example in his life, the way he behaved, the way he interacted with the devotees, and also what he did. Whatever he did, he also gave an example that we can follow. And one example, maybe with this we can end. One example which I found very inspiring is that how the Lord, he personally accepts a guru. Of course, he does the same as Krishna, he accepts Sandipani Muni. But it's interesting that the Lord, although he's the source of all knowledge and he's, the source of all Vedas, everything, but he himself becomes a disciple and he himself accepts a spiritual master, just to show the people in the world the importance of accepting a guru. No. Sometimes we find new devotees in Krishna consciousness. They're very enthusiastic about Krishna consciousness, but when it comes to a guru, no, I don't need. I'm okay, I'm fine. I listen to Prabhupada. They kind of hesitate to accept a guru. But Mahaprabhu showed by his example. And he also showed that by accepting a spiritual master, by accepting mantra, diksha, then the transformation took place. Huge transformation. Actually, there's twice great transformation took place in the life of Mahaprabhu. Once when he went to Gaya and he received initiation diksha, and then second time when he accepted sannyas. Now, in both cases, he accepted guru and received mantra, and then great transformation took place. So the Chaitanya Bhagavat beautifully describes these incidents. As the Lord entered Gaya, the king of all holy places, he offered obeisances with folded hands. Who of you has been to Gaya? Some of you? No? Okay. We're in India. I suppose everyone to be there, no? If I ask in the West, okay, people usually Gaya, they don't even know where it is. I've been to Bodh Gaya because I was into Buddhism at some point. So I wanted to see Bodh Gaya. And then on the way, I saw, oh, this Gaya also, I went to Gaya as well. But it's nice. There is this relative small temple, and you have this huge stone with the footprint of Vishnu. And people go there because to do this shraddha, when someone passes away, people go there, worship their forefather. So Jagannath Mishra left his body, and then Nimai went there to do these rites in Gaya. But then, of course, there was a deeper meaning or deeper purpose. He also would meet his spiritual master. So he came there to Gaya. He entered Chakravedi, lest Gaya Tirtha, and he went quickly to see the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. And then beautifully describes countless flower garlands were stacked like a temple dome on the Lord's footprints, which were surrounded on all sides by brahmanas. So there were many brahmanas sitting around the stone, many flowers, and unlimited sandalwood paste, flowers, incense, clothes had been offered at the lotus feet of the Lord. And then the brahmanas, they chanted mantras. This class will soon end because my voice is at the limit. Little sick. Anyhow, the brahmanas, they recited the glories of Lord Vishnu, especially the glories of the lotus feet, because the prints of these feet are there. So they chanted, Lord Shiva accepted these same lotus feet in his heart, and these same lotus feet are constantly served by Lakshmi. These lotus feet were placed on the head of Bali. O fortunate souls, now see those same lotus feet here. One who meditates on these lotus feet for even a moment never comes to under the jurisdiction of Yamaraj. These lotus feet are rarely attained by even the best of yogis. O fortunate souls, now see those same lotus feet here. The Ganges emanates from these lotus feet, and the servants of the Lord constantly keep these lotus feet in their hearts. These lotus feet are most enchanting on the bed of Ananta. O fortunate souls, now see those same lotus feet. So you just heard the glories of the lotus feet. I don't see anyone crying, no ecstatic emotions. These were the glories of the lotus feet of Vishnu. So hearing the glories of the lotus feet from the Brahmanas, the Lord became absorbed in ecstatic love. Mahaprabhu hearing, of course, maybe my recitation was not so realized. But Mahaprabhu became so completely, hearing this description, he became completely overwhelmed with love. Oh, my Lord is so beautiful. So he cried, tears were going from his eyes, and as the Lord looked at those lotus feet, tears flowed from his lotus eyes, his hair stood on end, and he began to shivering. Lord Gaurachandra then began manifesting ecstatic devotional service for the benefit of the entire world. The Brahmanas were startled to see tears flowing from the Lord's eyes, like unbroken flows of the Ganges. So this was the scene. The Brahmanas were like, wow, we have many visitors here. Many people come to see the lotus feet, but this young boy, he's something else. He's really ecstatic. So, and at that point, by the divine will of the Supreme Lord, at that moment, Sri Ishvara Puri arrived at that place. Just when Mahaprabhu was so ecstatic, then Ishvara Puri came. Ishvara Puri was also delighted to see the Lord, and he became also very ecstatic. And the both of them, they embraced each other. Sorry, I just lost. In the ecstasy of meeting each other, they both become soaked with tears of love. It's always this description, they become soaked in tears. I mean, how much can you cry, right? But in this description, this ecstatic crying is like so much water coming that actually the clothing becomes wet. And then the Lord starts to speak. Prabhu pale kaya yatra samphale amara yatakshane tekilana charane tomara. The Lord said, My Lord, my journey to Gaia has become successful the moment I was able to see your lotus feet. And this is kind of amazing. Now here they sit in front of the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, and Nimai says, my journey to Gaia has become successful by seeing your lotus feet. What is this? Like there is the feet of Vishnu, and they just glorified the glory of the feet of Vishnu. And he says, my journey has become successful seeing your lotus feet. And in this way, Nimai, or Mahaprabhu, emphasizes the glory of the Vaishnava, emphasizes the glory of Sri Guru. How for the devotee, actually the Vaishnava is even more important, even more glorious. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur comments that while wandering through the 14 worlds under the shelter of karma and jnana, by good fortune and piety resulting from devotional service, conditioned souls gets a chance to actually meet the feet of the spiritual master, who is a reservoir of seed of devotional service. Just by seeing the spiritual master, one's unauthorized, mundane, sensual, argument-based knowledge is checked. I repeat that. Just by seeing the spiritual master, one's unauthorized, mundane, sensual, argument-based knowledge is checked, and the topmost shining glories of devotional service manifest in the heart. Just by seeing by the spiritual master. Like we have experience preaching to people, and when we hear their arguments, no, their understanding, it's unauthorized, it's mundane, it's sensual knowledge. They have so many material desires, and they argue, no, I don't want to surrender, I don't like to do this, don't like to follow the principles, I don't like to chant. But here it says, just by seeing the spiritual master, this will be, removed. And the topmost shining glories of devotional service will manifest in the heart just by seeing such a guru. And then Bhaktisiddhanta, he quotes from Bhaktivinoda Thakur from Kalyana Kalpataru, this song on Tirtha Yatra. Myself, I was for about 10 years, I organized Tirtha Yatra, taking people from Switzerland and bringing them to different places. And of course, we went to Mayapur and Brindavan, but people want to see more. So we went to Varanasi, we went to Prayag and to Rishikesh and Devaprayag. Sometimes we went to South, Guruvayur and Tirupati, these places, many places. And then my Shiksha Guru, he always would kind of laugh at me. Tirtha Yatra, Tirtha Yatra. Going to so many places. For what? Why you're going to so many places? This is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur expresses. My dear mind, you're always attached to the different places of pilgrimage, such as Ayodhya, Mathura, Haridwar, Kashi, Kanchi, Avanti, and Dwarka. You want to travel to all these holy places of pilgrimage again and again for the sake of obtaining liberation. But it is clear that your heart is not becoming resolutely fixed by going to all these places. Therefore, all your wanderings are simply useless labor. So your heart not becomes fixed. You go here, you go there. The real benefit of visiting a holy place is to achieve the association of pure-hearted devotees of the Lord living there. So establishing that relationship to the sadhus, those who live in a holy place, get sadhu sangha. That is what makes your heart fixed in devotional service. So that's why you're traveling here and there, you just need to get the association of a devotee. And that's why Mahaprabhu's statement is kind of qualified here, because it sounds some kind of even offensive, They're sitting in front of the feet of Vishnu, and he says, my journey to Gaia has become successful by seeing your feet in front of Vishnu's feet. That sounds like aparat, but it's qualified here. Yes, of course, the feet of Vishnu are glorious, but it's the feet of Guru who actually gives us that bhakti, that devotion, by which we can appreciate the lotus feet of Vishnu, the lotus of Krishna. So in this way, and then he goes on, he says, if one offers oblations to the forefathers in a holy place, then the forefathers are delivered. But one delivers only he whom he has offered oblations for. By seeing you, Ishvarapuri, by seeing you, however, millions of forefathers are immediately freed from material bondage. Just by seeing a guru, a Vaishnava, then so many are delivered. Therefore, holy places are not equal to you, for you purify even the holy places. My Lord, devotees like your good self are very holy places personified, because you carry the personality of Godhead within your heart. Please deliver me from the ocean of material existence. I surrender myself unto you. I beg that you make me drink the nectar of Krishna's lotus feet. So in this way, Nimai surrenders unto Ishvarapuri. So this is a beautiful example, and that's why it's also said that actually Mahaprabhu, he teaches by his own example how to accept the Guru, how to surrender. And of course, then he himself becomes a Guru. He takes sannyas, he goes to Puri, he travels, and he himself, sometimes it's referred that Mahaprabhu is like Acharya Lila. No, he himself. Because in Shastra it says that actually, let me see, this is here. Kali Yuga Sadhu Bhaya Dushkara Janiya. That in Kali Yuga it's very difficult to find a genuine sadhu. Kali Yuga, very difficult to find sadhu. There is one shloka, it says that it's easy to find a guru who takes away all the money of the disciple. That's easy. You can find easy. One guru takes away all the money. But it's difficult to find a guru who takes away all the misery of the disciple. So in Kali Yuga, it's very difficult to find a true sadhu. This way we are very fortunate, coming in touch with Srila Prabhupada, coming in touch with Prabhupada's disciple, our spiritual masters, ISKCON gurus, so many amazing personalities, and we're getting a chance to associate. So in Kali Yuga, very difficult to find a genuine guru. Therefore, Krishna appeared as a sadhu guru taking birth in Nadia. So Krishna appeared himself to play the role of an acharya, of a guru, of a sadhu, to show by his own example how to be a sadhu, how to be a perfect devotee. So in this way, and therefore, when we accept the spiritual master, we should make sure that our guru is a Gaura Priya Jana, that we should accept a guru, we should accept the spiritual master who also comes in that line, who also follows that. And only this Gaura Priya Jana, he will be able to bring us to the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. And in this way, we can get his mercy. Because as we know, he's the most beneficent, most merciful incarnation. And just by accepting his shelter, everything will be possible. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Hare Krishna, thank you very much. So we spoke a little bit about how the Lord appeared in the mood of a bhakta, because he wanted to relish that love the devotee feels, he wanted to distribute that prema, and also he taught by his own example in different ways. And we spoke about the importance of accepting a spiritual master who was also in that line of Mahaprabhu. And in this way we tried to glorify the Lord. Any comments, realizations from any of you? Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanwar Pranam. Thank you for the wonderful lecture. Prabhuji, my question is that you talked about how Mahaprabhu was crying for Krishna, like he came as a form of devotee.
Yes.
So, being a devotee, like I'm not a devotee, but still I'm in this process. That rasa is not coming, despite being chanting from last 5 to 6 years, despite being with my spiritual master in GEV. Still, so how that rasa will come? How that bhava will come?
Okay, very nice question. Mahaprabhu showed by his example, and one example he showed, he was crying for Krishna. Right? And all the acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, would teach us that this is what we need to learn. Like the chanting of the holy name is like the crying of a child to the mother, right? Or Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj, he would say, I have opened a crying school here in Bhubaneswar, right? And then Chaitanya Bhagavad describes that that actually bhakti, what is bhakti yoga? Bhakti yoga is the greatest wealth, is the greatest asset. And bhakti yoga means to call out the name of Krishna and to cry for Krishna. That is bhakti yoga. The meaning of bhakti yoga is to cry for Krishna. Because those who have cried for Krishna, they have gotten Krishna. It's very, in a way, very simple. If you cry for Krishna, you will get him. If you don't cry for Krishna, you will never get him. Because Krishna is not, Krishna will only be interested or will be attracted by your love. And that means to be an intense love. Krishna wants to see our intense hankering after him. And if that is manifested in the heart, then Krishna becomes very attracted. So now your question is how to get that. Unfortunately, there is no simple formula. You just press a button and then you have emotion and love. But who was it? Gaur Das Babaji or Jagannath Das Babaji who said you can get 2 paisa, you can get Krishna Prem? Gaur 2 paisa. You have 2 paisa, you can get Prem. You just go to the market and you buy 2 books. Prarthana and Prema Bhakti Chandrika. Huh? So you read these 2. Have you read these books? So no surprise that you don't have love, Krishna. You have to read these books. So what does it? I mean, it sounds very simplistic. Just buy a book and then. But the deeper meaning is that we may not have these emotions because we are still too much covered. And of course, because being in a cycle of birth and death since time immemorial, even if you chant 5, 6 years, or 10 years, or 20 years, or 30 years, what is 30 years compared to millions of lifetimes? So naturally, we're still covered, and it's not so easy to access that. But what we can do, we can listen from those who already have these emotions. And especially the acharyas who have written these songs, these Vaishnava songs, they have invested all their bhava in these songs. And by reading these songs, singing these songs, offering these prayers, we actually can awaken a little bit also. So one thing, there is a nice, in Europe, there is a place called Radhadesh in Belgium. And one Mataji, she has published a little booklet, Kanchana Valali, I think. And the booklet is called Crying for Krishna. And she just collected some prayers. Very nice book. And then sometimes in the morning before Chapa, I just open the book, read a few prayers, and all of a sudden, like, wow, Krishna, Krishna, I need you. Then I put the book aside and then I start to chant. So that can help to hear these prayers of the acharyas and then try to enter in that mood. And then, as also famously was said, then if you're not able to cry, then we can cry because we cannot cry. So we can cry for that. We can pray for that. Please help me to develop these emotions. So it has a lot to do with inner work and inner prayers. That's why prayers are so important. I hope it helps.
Thank you very much.
All right, I think time is up. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
You had come for taking treatments.